Your soulmate is in a depression, because they don't have the guts to confess that they tested positive for. My beloved child. A silence has been growing around your soulmate, and it is not because they stopped caring. It is because they are carrying a truth that feels heavier than anything they have ever faced before. Don't skip, because what you are about to hear may completely change the way you see every unanswered message, every delayed reply, and every strange moment that made no sense. Something huge is waiting for you. They have replayed the same conversation in their mind hundreds of times, imagining what would happen if they finally told you everything. But every version ends with the same fear, losing the one person they never wanted to lose. There is a reason this message found you today. Their heart has been trapped between hope and fear, and every sunrise has become another reminder that they still have not found the courage to speak. The secret is not simply about a medical result. It is about what they believe that result means for the future they dreamed of building with you. They tested positive for something that shook their confidence, and instead of asking for your understanding, they locked themselves inside their own thoughts. They convinced themselves that if you knew, you would walk away before hearing the whole story. That belief has become a prison. Every smile they show the world hides another sleepless night. Every ordinary conversation hides another unanswered question. They keep asking themselves whether love can survive honesty, yet they are terrified to discover the answer. Listen carefully because the next piece changes everything. Stay till the end. Your soulmate has not been running from you. They have been running from the version of themselves that now lives inside their imagination. They have built 1,000 heartbreaking endings before giving reality a single chance. Every notification from you makes their heart race. Every memory reminds them of what they could lose. They have opened your conversation countless times, typed a confession, stared at the screen, and erased every word before pressing send. They tell themselves, tomorrow will be easier. But tomorrow always becomes another day filled with fear. The sadness you sense is real, but it is mixed with guilt, uncertainty, and an overwhelming desire to protect you from worry. They are carrying a burden they were never prepared for, believing they must solve everything alone before they deserve your love again. That belief is slowly exhausting them. The hardest battle is not happening in their body, it is happening inside their mind. They wonder whether you would still look at them the same way if you knew the truth. They wonder whether one confession could erase every beautiful memory you shared. And while they keep asking those questions, time continues to slip away, making the silence feel even louder. Don't skip, because the story is about to take an unexpected turn. There is one detail they never expected anyone to notice, yet you have been closer to the truth than they realize. You sensed the distance. You noticed the hesitation. You felt that something changed, even if you could not explain why. That connection is exactly why this moment matters. Something huge is waiting for you. Deep inside, your soulmate is hoping that someone will give them permission to stop pretending they are strong all the time. They are waiting for a single moment when fear no longer controls the conversation. The surprising truth is that the positive result itself is no longer what frightens them the most. What truly keeps them awake is the possibility that their silence will create a misunderstanding that cannot be repaired. Every day they delay the truth, the weight becomes heavier. Every heartbeat reminds them that honesty cannot be postponed forever. A decision is approaching much faster than they expected, and when that moment finally arrives, everything between you could change in ways neither of you imagined. Stay till the end of this journey, because the next chapter reveals the unexpected event that finally forces your soulmate to stop hiding and face the truth they have feared for so long. Everything changes the moment your soulmate realizes that silence is hurting them more than the truth ever could. The walls they built around their emotions are beginning to crack, and every passing hour makes it harder to pretend that everything is normal. Don't skip, because this is where the story takes an unexpected turn. Something huge is waiting for you. They have started looking back at every memory you shared together, wondering why they believed fear deserved more power than love. The positive test result is no longer the center of their thoughts. Instead, they are haunted by one question: what if the person I love would have stayed beside me if only I had trusted them? That single thought follows them everywhere. It echoes during quiet mornings, restless nights, and every moment when they are surrounded by people yet still feel completely alone. They have become exhausted from carrying a secret that keeps growing heavier inside their heart. More than once they have stood in front of a mirror, trying to practice the words they have never been brave enough to say. They whisper the confession, stop halfway through, and convince themselves that tomorrow will somehow be different. But tomorrow always brings the same fear. They are discovering that hiding the truth has stolen their peace far more than the truth itself ever could. Stay till the end, because the next revelation uncovers the invisible force that is pushing them closer to finally breaking their silence. An unexpected moment is approaching, one they never planned for. A simple conversation, an ordinary notification, or even a familiar memory could become the spark that changes everything. They have begun noticing signs that remind them of you everywhere they go. A favorite song. A familiar place. A phrase someone casually speaks. Each reminder makes their heart race because it feels like life is refusing to let them forget what truly matters. Don't skip. Something huge is waiting for you. The depression they have been battling has convinced them that they must face everything alone, yet deep inside they know that isolation has only made the burden heavier. Their greatest fear has never been the result itself. It has been the possibility that you would misunderstand why they stayed silent for so long. They imagine your reaction again and again, but every imagined ending is written by fear instead of reality. That is why they hesitate. That is why they disappear for moments without explanation. That is why they seem distant even when they desperately wish they could be close. They are standing at the edge of a life-changing decision, knowing that one honest conversation could either free them from months of emotional darkness or force them to confront every fear they have been hiding from. The pressure has become impossible to ignore, and they are beginning to understand that love cannot survive behind locked doors forever. The final barrier inside their heart is starting to collapse. They can no longer carry this emotional weight without it changing who they are. Stay till the end, because the next chapter reveals the moment they almost send the confession they have rewritten countless times. Something huge is waiting for you. Their hands tremble every time they think about telling you everything, yet for the first time they are beginning to believe that honesty may be the only path back to peace. They are slowly replacing fear with courage, one fragile thought at a time. The darkness that surrounded them is no longer as powerful as it once was because hope has quietly begun returning. They are realizing that hiding has not protected either of you, it has only created distance where trust once lived. That realization is impossible to ignore. A single unexpected event is about to place them in a situation where remaining silent is no longer an option. When that moment arrives, they will have only two choices. Continue living behind fear or finally speak the words they have hidden for so long. And once those words leave their heart, nothing between you will ever feel the same again. A turning point is now closer than your soulmate ever imagined. They have reached the stage where hiding the truth feels more painful than revealing it. Don't skip, because this is the moment everything begins to shift. Something huge is waiting for you. For days they have carried a message that has never been sent, reading it over and over until every word lost its meaning. They wanted to explain why they suddenly became distant, why their laughter sounded forced, and why every promise they made to themselves ended with another silent night. Their mind keeps telling them that one confession could change your opinion forever, but their heart keeps reminding them that real love cannot grow where fear controls every decision. They no longer recognize the person they became while protecting this secret. Even the smallest reminder of you brings both comfort and heartbreak at the same time. They remember the dreams they imagined with you, the future they quietly planned, and the life they hoped would never be interrupted. Now they wonder whether those dreams are still waiting or whether they have already slipped away because they waited too long. Stay till the end, because the next revelation uncovers the hidden reason they suddenly stop running from the truth and begin preparing for the conversation they once believed could never happen. Then something unexpected happens. It is not a miracle or a dramatic event, but a simple realization that shakes them to their core. They finally understand that every day they remain silent, you are left creating your own explanations. They know you may believe they stopped caring, that they lost interest, or that someone else entered their life. That realization hurts them more than anything else. Don't skip. Something huge is waiting for you. They never wanted their silence to become a misunderstanding. They never wanted fear to write a story that was never true. For the first time in a long while, they stop asking, "What if I lose them?" and begin asking, "What if I lose them because I never told them the truth?" That single question changes everything. The weight they have been carrying starts to feel different. It is still heavy, but now it pushes them forward instead of holding them back. Their thoughts become clearer. Their heartbeat becomes steadier. They begin imagining a future where honesty replaces fear, where one difficult conversation becomes the beginning of healing instead of the end of hope. The darkness that once convinced them to hide is slowly losing its power. Now your soulmate stands at the edge of a decision that cannot be delayed much longer. Stay till the end, because the next chapter reveals the exact moment they finally reach for their phone with a completely different mindset. Something huge is waiting for you. They are no longer searching for the perfect words because they have realized perfection is impossible. What matters is sincerity. They are ready to tell you that their silence was never a measure of their love. It was a reflection of their fear. They are ready to admit that the positive test result became far bigger in their imagination than it ever needed to be, and that depression convinced them they had to face everything alone. But that belief is beginning to break apart. Deep inside, they are choosing courage over isolation for the very first time. They know the conversation ahead will not be easy, yet they also know that continuing to hide would cost far more than telling the truth. As the next moment approaches, they take one deep breath, unlock their phone, and place their fingers above the keyboard, because what happens next has the power to change both of your lives forever. The screen lights up, and for the first time, your soulmate does not close the message window. They stare at your name as though it is the only place where hope still exists. Don't skip, because this is the moment they have been running from for far too long. Something huge is waiting for you. Their hands tremble, not because they have forgotten what they want to say, but because they finally understand that truth cannot stay hidden forever. Every painful memory, every sleepless night, and every tear they kept to themselves has led to this single moment. They begin typing slowly, deleting a few words, then starting again, not because they want the perfect message, but because they want every sentence to come from the deepest part of their heart. They no longer want fear to introduce them. They want honesty to speak first. The secret they carried has already stolen enough joy from their life. Depression convinced them they were alone, but a quiet voice inside keeps reminding them that real connection begins when masks finally come off. Stay till the end, because what happens in the next few moments is something they never believed they would have the strength to face. Just before pressing send, another wave of doubt rushes through them. Their heartbeat grows louder, and countless questions flood their mind once again. What if everything changes? What if this confession becomes the reason the future falls apart? Don't skip. Something huge is waiting for you. Then an unexpected realization breaks through the fear. They remember that every beautiful memory you shared was built on trust, not perfection. That thought becomes stronger than every negative voice that has haunted them for weeks. Instead of imagining rejection, they begin imagining relief. Instead of expecting the worst, they finally allow themselves to believe that understanding is possible. For the first time since receiving the positive result, they feel the weight on their shoulders becoming lighter. It is not because every problem has disappeared, but because they are no longer carrying it alone inside their own mind. The silence that once felt like protection now feels like the only thing standing between them and peace. They close their eyes, take one long breath, and realize that courage is not the absence of fear, it is choosing honesty even while fear is still present. Everything is now balanced on one unforgettable decision. Stay till the end, because the next chapter reveals what happens immediately after that message finally leaves their phone. Something huge is waiting for you. Their finger slowly moves toward the send button, and in that tiny moment, it feels as though time itself has stopped. Every emotion they buried rises to the surface at once, yet instead of turning away, they choose to keep moving forward. They know they cannot rewrite the past, but they can change what happens next. The secret that once controlled every thought is about to lose its power because truth is finally replacing silence. Whether the next few minutes bring tears, relief, or unexpected hope, one thing has already changed forever: your soulmate has decided that fear will no longer make their choices. And as the message begins its journey toward you, another unexpected event starts unfolding behind the scenes, one that neither of you sees coming, but one that has the power to reshape everything from this point forward. A few seconds pass after the message is sent, yet to your soulmate it feels like an entire lifetime. They place the phone beside them, then immediately reach for it again, wondering if they should erase everything before you have the chance to read it. Don't skip, because this is where the story takes its most emotional turn. Something huge is waiting for you. Their heart is racing faster than ever before, but beneath that fear is a feeling they have not experienced in a long time: relief. For months, they believed the truth would destroy everything. Now they realize that hiding it was destroying them instead. They sit quietly, remembering every moment they almost disappeared from your life, every excuse they created, every smile they forced while carrying a weight no one else could see. Depression had convinced them they were fighting a battle that nobody could understand. But the moment they chose honesty, something inside them began to change. The darkness that once whispered, "Stay silent," has become quieter. Hope is slowly speaking louder than fear. Stay till the end, because what happens next is something your soulmate never expected to feel after telling the truth. As they wait, their mind begins imagining every possible response. They prepare themselves for silence, for questions, for surprise, and even for disappointment. But one realization refuses to leave their heart. Don't skip. Something huge is waiting for you. They finally understand that love should never be measured by perfect circumstances. It is revealed during the moments when people are most vulnerable. For the first time in weeks, they stop blaming themselves for every uncertain thought that crossed their mind. Instead, they begin believing that this difficult chapter does not have to define the rest of their story. They recognize how much time was stolen by fear, how many beautiful opportunities slipped away because they assumed the worst before giving reality a chance. The positive test result that once felt like the end of everything is no longer the center of their world. What matters now is that the truth is no longer hidden. That single decision has opened a door they believed was permanently locked. Even though they do not know what the next conversation will bring, they finally feel free from the burden that had been crushing their spirit day after day. Now the story reaches a place where nothing can return to the way it was before. Stay till the end, because the final chapter reveals the unexpected response that changes your soulmate from the inside out. Something huge is waiting for you. As they hold the phone with trembling hands, a notification suddenly appears on the screen. For one brief moment, time seems to stop. They close their eyes before reading it, knowing this could become the moment that defines everything ahead. But deep inside, they are no longer the same person who once hid behind silence. They have already won the hardest battle by choosing courage over fear. Whatever words appear next, they know they faced the truth instead of running from it. And as that message begins to unfold, another hidden truth quietly comes into the light. One that reveals this journey was never only about a test result. It was about rediscovering trust, rebuilding hope, and proving that the strongest connections are often born in the very moments when honesty finally defeats fear. The next revelation will uncover the response that neither of you saw coming, and it will leave an unforgettable mark on both of your hearts.